competition. Big respect to George Lockhart, Sugar Hill, Andy Lee, all the boys, Matty, Christian, and if I missed anybody, Timmy. Big respect to all my team. They were all amazing. Everyone did a great job. I'm walking out from the top. Big shout out to Spencer Brown, my commercial agent and everything in the UK. He sorts everything out, and I trust him wholeheartedly. He's like one of my best friends, so he did a great job with sponsorships, looking after everything. Big shout out to my lawyer, Robert Davis. He made all the contracts watertight. No motherfucker can get £1 past Robert Davis, so big shout out to him. Big shout out to Frank Warren, Bob Aaron, Top Rank, BT Sport, and everybody else who made it happen in my career. I want to thank every single person.
Well, let's talk about your trainers for a minute. We talked about
Those are the words of Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, as he admits, as he thanks everyone, and he admits that he's going out on the top. Now, nothing wrong with that to a degree, okay? I remember this interview, and it was very good. I mean, it was a great interview. You know, Tyson Fury is a class act. Okay, that's one thing about Tyson. Tyson Fury shows you where he is. He shows you his sportsmanship when he wins a fight. Look at what happened after the Wilder 3 fight. There was no animosity. There was no bad blood. There was nothing but love and respect from Tyson Fury. You've seen the same thing here. You've seen it before and you've seen it after here. Now, I think he had to, come at Deontay Wilder like he did because of all the other stuff that was going on. But shout out to Tyson Fury for showing who he really is as an individual. Okay, now, what I want to point out is going out on top. I mean, that's great. That's like, on top of the world, man. Right? But then this would be different if this would have been at the end of the Joshua fight. If this been at the end of the Usyk fight. You know what I mean? Like, if that was the guy to beat, going out on top then would be the thing to do, because if that's the top guy in the division, it's a reason why he's a top guy in the division. See, we have so many different avenues in boxing now. Look at Usyk, for example. Usyk didn't fight Andy Ruiz, Dillian White, Pulev, Povetkin. He didn't fight any of those. Deontay Wilder. He didn't fight any of those guys. Okay? He took every strap from cruiserweight, got his opportunity to fight for the WBO belt at heavyweight. Okay? Was going to fight Tyrone Spong. That fell through, right? Drug allegations. Then he fights Witherspoon. Then he fights Derek Chisora. Then he fights Anthony Joshua. Okay? That's his avenue. Who else is there? Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, how did his avenue run? He came back to the sport of boxing, got a shot that he really didn't deserve, that belonged to Dillian White, fought Deontay Wilder to a draw, signed a contract with ESPN so he could be marketed in the States, start getting marketed in the States, fought Tom Schwartz, undefeated guy, not in the top 10, fought Otto Vailene, another undefeated guy, not in the top 10, 2 tune-up fights, okay? On top of 2 more tune-up fights before the Wilder fight, fights Wilder again, then fights Wilder again, then fights White. That's that avenue. Then you got Joshua, okay? He went from Klitschko. Let's not go back as far as Klitschko. But he started collecting these belts. So you should say Klitschko, okay? Klitschko, Charles Martin, Joseph Parker, all champions. Okay? Then Povetkin, then Andy Ruiz, then Pulev, than Alexander Usyk. That's his avenue. So, 3 guys: Usyk, Fury, Joshua. Right? Where is the common opponent? I mean, to the crown. So their avenue to the crown, where is the common opponent? You don't have any. That's the problem. The only thing that we can say about Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, they both fought and beat Dillian White. They both fought and beat Vladimir Klitschko. What else is there to really compare? You don't. You can't. So saying, hey, I'm off on top, well, that's your perception of what you think. Based on whatever. Based on you never been beaten. Well, it's a lot of fighters you never fought. Okay? And these guys haven't fought each other. And for 2, Usyk's fought Joshua. But that's the only thing. Okay? Joshua's not fought Fury. Fury has not fought Usyk. Okay, so there's too many different avenues of fighters and certain routes these guys took to get where they are. But where they are, it hasn't been fighting the best. See, had this been Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali got beat by Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier then turns around and gets destroyed by Foreman. Then Foreman gets beat by Muhammad Ali. Do you see how that goes? So everybody fought each other. There's more people involved in it. You know, we had Ken Norton and, you know, Larry Holmes is in there, and Sherry was back, and that's further in the 70s. But, you know, those 3 guys alone. You know, we can talk about Wilder if that's another avenue, but I'm just using these 3 as an example. Okay, these 3 fighters as an example have not fought the same fighters to see anything. You know, as a matter of fact, they haven't even fought the same opposition. They haven't even fought the same fighters at all. Except for Dillian White. He's the only common guy in there. But he wasn't a step to the crown. He was a guy that Joshua beat a while ago. And Tyson Fury, that was his mandatory because he's supposed to get what Tyson Fury received a long time ago. Which was an opportunity to fight Deontay Wilder. Why? Because Deontay Wilder was the WBC champ at the time. And who did he end up fighting in 19? Dominic Breazeale. Where the fuck was Dominic Breazeale, and what did he do to do anything? He made a deal with the devil. Mauricio Suleiman. Right? But it wasn't because he deserved it. No disrespect to Dominic Breazeale. But he didn't deserve what he got. Neither did Tyson Fury. Okay? But they both received those opportunities over Dillian White. So, saying all that to say this, people. These avenues of fighters. You claim to be the best, Tyson Fury. But then yet, you haven't fought but one person that the other guy that seemed to be number 2 or number 3 did. That's something wrong with that. Okay? Because, like I said, if we compare that era, that meant that then Tyson Fury then would go fight Alexander Usyk. You know what I mean? Then Joshua could fight Wilder because they 2 lost. And you'll see who wins out of those. And then they, you know, progress on to do whatever they're going to do. We don't have that this era. Shout out to Bruce Vane. I seen a video of him. He was like, hey, people can't compare those guys of yesteryear to these guys because these guys don't fight the best. And I have to agree with him. You won't get scenarios like, okay, somebody beat the shit out of Andy Ruiz. Oh, that's right. Andy don't want to fight nobody. So it's not even a desire or a motivating factor for these fighters to even want to fight each other. So guess what? You can't claim to be the best until you beat the rest. Bars. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Tyson the Gypsy King Fury saying that he's going out on top. And on that notion, if you're on top or you're the best at your game right now, why would you want to go out? If you're on fire, let your fire burn. Fight the rest of these guys, beat them, then you can actually earn your keep and it'll actually stick. But anyway, you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.